He had been in the room for 2 hours. He had spoken 4 times. He had laughed at the right moments, asked the right questions, been present in every way he knew how to be present. And when he left, slipping out without announcement, as he always did, he was certain that within 5 minutes no one would remember he had been there. He was usually right, not because the people were cruel, not because he was unlikable. He was, by most accounts, perfectly likable. He was just, somehow, not quite there, even when he was there, even when he was trying. There is a specific kind of person who moves through the world like this, not shy necessarily, not antisocial. They show up, they participate, they do the things you're supposed to do. But something about how they exist in space doesn't register the way it registers for others. They speak and their words land lightly, get absorbed quickly, get attributed elsewhere. They contribute and the contribution becomes the group's. They are present and somehow simultaneously absent. It is not dramatic, it is not obvious. It is just a persistent, low-grade non-arrival, a life spent slightly outside the frame. Psychologists describe something called social invisibility, the experience of being consistently overlooked, forgotten, or not quite seen, not from active exclusion, but from a kind of passive non-registration. It is different from loneliness, though it often produces loneliness. Loneliness is the absence of people. Social invisibility is the presence of people, and still not quite mattering to them. It almost always starts early. There is usually a childhood in which the person learned through accumulated experience rather than one clear event, that the room does not naturally stop for them. A family where louder siblings got more airtime, a classroom where the teacher's eyes reliably passed over them, a social landscape where the mechanics of attention, charm, volume, performance were things they observed in others but couldn't quite locate in themselves. And the child learns, not as a decision, as an adaptation. They learn to be useful rather than present, to attach their existence to function, if I help, if I contribute, if I am needed, rather than to simply being. They learn to observe everything and expect to be observed by nothing. The observer position is not chosen, it is what remains when the participant position keeps proving unavailable. Here is what this does over time. The person becomes extraordinarily perceptive. They see everything, dynamics, subtext, who needs what, what's really happening under the surface, because you see clearly from outside the center. But the seeing is not reciprocated. They give attention generously, they receive it rarely. And after years of this asymmetry, something shifts, not bitterness usually, more like a quiet recalibration, an adjustment of expectations downward, a kind of preemptive acceptance of not mattering so that not mattering doesn't keep landing as a surprise. The adjustment protects against pain. It also makes the thing it's protecting against more likely. Because people who have learned not to expect to be seen stop doing the things that make them more visible. They speak less, take up less space, arrive and leave without announcement. They become, gradually, more invisible.
The invisibility confirms itself. There is something else that happens. The interior world becomes very rich. When the exterior world doesn't reflect you back, you build an interior one that does. The invisible person often has an extraordinary private life of thought, observations, perceptions, understandings that no one else has access to. They are, frequently, the most interesting person in the room. The room just doesn't know it. But here is what this pattern cannot see from inside itself. The invisibility is not the truth about who they are. It is the truth about what they were taught to expect. There is a difference between being someone who doesn't matter and being someone who has spent a long time in environments that didn't know how to see them. Those are not the same thing, even though they feel the same. If this was about you, you are not invisible. You are unseen. The two words feel the same from the inside. They are not the same. Invisible means you are not there. Unseen means the people around you have not yet learned how to look. That is their limitation, not your absence. You have always been there, fully. The room just hasn't caught up yet. There is a specific kind of moment that people who have felt invisible describe, when someone, usually unexpectedly, usually someone they wouldn't have predicted, turns and actually looks at them. Not past them, not through them, at them, and remembers what they said and makes space for them to finish the sentence. And the invisible person doesn't know what to do with it at first because it's so unfamiliar. But something in them recognizes it, has always recognized it, has been waiting for it quietly without announcing the waiting. That recognition is not nothing. It is, in fact, everything. It means the capacity for being seen was always there. It was just waiting for the right room. You are allowed to find that room. You are allowed to stay in it.